And gentlemen, Connie Britton.
Hi. How are you?
Eh.
Hi, Connie. Ooh, it's so dark.
There's people out there. And to present the 2017 Maui Film Festival Navigator Award,
Amazing.
Barry Rivers.
How are you? Thanks so much. Thank you.
So much.
So this is your, this is, do you have a mic, Rick? So this is the 2017, or was it 1917? What was it again? 2017 Maui Film Festival Navigator Award, in honor of your carving a career of distinction through the turbulent waters of the entertainment industry without sacrificing your commitment to excellence. Congratulations.
Wow, thank you. Thank you so much.
You want them all in? Just her? That was one hell of a clip reel, wasn't it?
Here, come stand.
Okay, yeah.
Take a picture. Okay, now everybody. Come on. Now?
Hey, enjoy you two.
Thanks, Barry.
We're ready. Sorry.
Oh, that's for you. Is it weird if I just hold this like this the whole time?
Maybe we should.
Is that strange?
Should we take that?
No, I can.
You want to hold it? Maybe we can have some nuts or
Oh
something.
no, I like it. And then I can put my flowers on it. I love it. Thank you.
So welcome, and that was just an amazing clip reel. And it shows this range of things you are. And this is unusual because we're about to see a movie that you're in. And tell us about it.
The movie we're about to see is called Beatrice at Dinner, and it was written by Mike White and directed by Miguel Arteta. And I don't want to tell you, and an incredible ensemble cast. Salma Hayek, John Lithgow, Chloe Sevigny, Jay Dupois, Amy Landecker, goes on and on and on, John Early, blah, blah, blah. Amazing cast. But I don't want to tell you too much because you're all here in this incredibly beautiful place. This is the most amazing venue to see a film. So you're going to get every bit of this movie, and I just hope that you love it because we really loved making it.
Okay, well, we won't do any spoilers in terms of relevance to wealthy people who rule the world and people who put them in their place. But anyway. So
This is a good place to watch it, I will say, when you see the subject matter.
do you have any other You've been here for a couple of hours now. Do you have any impressions of Maui and this festival?
I'd say the greatest impression I have is just the welcoming nature of this place and the real relaxing vibe. I mean, the minute I got off the plane, I felt my body chemistry just go, and everyone here, yeah, it's a really extraordinary thing. And I think that must be the meaning of aloha.
Yeah, you learn fast.
That must be it.
People broke into cheers with the last roll on the clip reel, which is Nashville, of course. And when word got out that you were going to be honored here, what I heard from everybody was, "Oh, I love her." I mean, that was.
R.I.P. Raina.
Why do you think that project clicked as much as it did?
I think there were a lot of reasons, but I think the music. I always take it back to the music because I think everything that really connects with an audience, there's a heart and a soul at its center. And in the case of Nashville, the heart and soul was the music. The music came from Nashville songwriters. Everything was played by Nashville musicians. You know, we all performed our own songs, and so there was such integrity and authenticity to that, and audiences appreciate that. And so I think that then the world of the characters around that felt really alive.
Was the singing a draw to the project for you? I mean, you're awesome.
Oh, thank you. It was a huge draw. Also the scariest part of doing it. And that came along for me at a time when I had just finished doing Friday Night Lights, and I was kind of like, boy, where do I go from there? And I knew I wanted to do something that felt like a risk. I wanted to challenge myself as an artist, and this Nashville show came along, and it was going to be singing, and T-Bone Burnett was going to be doing the music, and I thought, wow, I may never have an opportunity like this again in my career, so I want to give it a shot.
Well, you nailed it. Speaking of those two TV shows, those are grounded in what is known in some circles as flyover country. The people who live there are not like people here or on the coasts. There's something so soulful in the roles that you created. How do you prepare for a role like that? How do you tap into those people, those women in that part of the country?
Well, I've spent a lot of time with them. I grew up with them, and some of the women that I admire the most are women from those parts of the country, and I actually don't see the differences as much as I see the similarities. To me, I'm just interested in the soul of the women and the soul of the place that they come from, and how people are individually shaped by their circumstances, and I never judge them in that way. So to me, I have a deep love for the people that I play, the places that they come from, and I really, try to honor that.
Can you see a movie here in your future?
Do I see a movie
made on Maui or in the island?
Oh my gosh, I hope so. Let's do it tonight, tomorrow. When's good? Maybe some filmmakers in the house. Let's just do that.
Could be. Actually, I'll introduce you to some folks. How did you know from the time you were a little girl that this is what you wanted to do?
I loved acting. I used to write plays when I was little and perform them, and then when I went to high school, my public high school had an amazing theater program, which is hard to find these days, and it was just my life. But then I went to college, and I was like, okay, well, I loved that, and that would be my dream. It felt like that, like a pipe dream. And I went to college, and I was like, now it's time to grow up and do something mature. And then it kind of kept coming back around. And then I thought, well, I'm just going to give it a shot. But, I came from a small town in Virginia where the idea of going and becoming a professional actor just was the furthest from reality you could imagine. So it was a pipe dream.
How did it come back around for you? What convinced you that, hey, you could make it work?
Nothing. Nothing. My parents were always really supportive, even though they didn't get it, and they kind of thought I had to get it out of my system a little bit. But I was in New York just pounding the pavement, and it's that thing where if it's your passion and you want to do it, you just keep going, and you keep going through the rejection. And it sounds so cliche that I almost never say this out loud, but I feel like this is such a beautiful place to say that I am a person who has truly had my dream come true, and it was a dream that I had when I was a child that I couldn't even envision for myself. And so, and that was just by listening to my own heart and honoring it, and trying to explore what my own voice was and understand that there was a value for that in the world. So I always, want to encourage people to know that you can really live out your own vision if you're brave enough to do it. But you have to go through a lot of rejection.
And this is where I leave you. Adam, that ensemble included Adam Driver, who has sat in that seat.
I know. They were just telling me that. He's the best. He's amazing.
He didn't give you. Hey, what kind of reputation does this festival have in LA? I mean, when you heard from the festival, what did you think?
Oh my gosh. I couldn't believe it. I was thrilled. You know, it's interesting because anything that happens in Maui, I think, has a sort of mystique about it, and it feels almost holy a little bit. And so this feels different to me than other film festivals because it really feels like it's of this place and of the land, and I think that the films here represent that. Yeah.
A little bit in terms of process, what is different about developing a character in a TV series versus a movie?
Sustainability. You know, in a film, there's a very distinct arc, beginning, middle, and end. You know that at the outset. So you're really shaping something that has a conclusion. In television, and there's a real luxury to this, which I love, which is why I love working in TV so much. You have time to really explore your character, let your character change, find different levels that maybe you didn't know first time out or early on in the production, and you get to really experience a very immediate evolution of the character, whereas in film you already know the life expectancy, you know.
And in terms of that, I know that Raina made an unexpected departure from Nashville. How did that come about? Was that your choice?
It was, you know, there were a lot of factors that played into that, but most important for me was that I really felt that the show was in a really good place, which it is. The characters are so beloved, and that world has really now been honed and created so that, you know, it felt like we could go there with story and we could do it in a way that honored the characters, and that was important to me.
What do you think the relationship is between that big screen there and then the big world around it? I know that you've been involved with United Nations. Can you talk a little bit about what you do off screen?
Well, I work with the United Nations with a focus on eradicating poverty. Let's eradicate poverty, why don't we? Because why not? And my emphasis is on gender empowerment, because when women are empowered around the world, poverty will be greatly reduced, and that's a fact. So I've been spending a lot of time with that, and you know, it's an interesting subject, sort of work in the outside world versus the work that we do on film. I never feel that it's somebody's responsibility that you have to do that work. That's something I've always been drawn to do. That's very personal for me. And I also feel that the characters that I play can be reflective in a way that can be beneficial in the culture, and that's kind of an interesting way to tell story and to you know, get into the zeitgeist and the thinking of society a little bit too. So I do think that we can go out and do work in the world, which I think is very important, and the work that I do with the UN I love and I value, but I also think that we as storytellers have a great opportunity to reflect to each other who we are.
Well, let me just say that it is just an absolute pleasure and an honor and a kick to have you here. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I'm so honored to be here. Thank you all. And I hope you enjoy Beatrice at dinner.